Good morning.
Look at that.
Yep.
Yummy.
Good morning and welcome to another Wog's World of Rex. I'm Paulie Woggs, and today is Saturday, July 13th. We are still working on the 1970 Mercury Cougar. Tavion's already in here and he's been working on it already this morning. We're working on getting the rest of this undercoating cleaned off, and then once we get this undercoating cleaned off, we've got a few more spots of rust that we need to take care of on the front end before we can primer it. There's a couple of spots over here where we've got some rust down in behind here that we're gonna have to figure out what to do and cut out and fix a couple of those. But once we do that, then we'll be able to, like I said, get the rest of this cleaned up and we'll get the front end of this primered. I'm not sure if we're gonna get to the primering today, but we're gonna give it a try. So thanks for tuning in and watching, and we appreciate it. Here we go.
so good.
do anything. You gotta pull down on it. See? Now go back up. There you go. If it's hard to pull, you need to put your hand further down.
Whoops. Whoopsie daisy. No, it's stuck. It's stuck. It's stuck. Can you help me get it off?
Yeah.
It's not in all the way.
Do you think the holes are too rusty?
Yes.
All right, well then take it back out.
Off.
I'll hold this.
I'm slipping. Because I got it so tight there, I'm slipping. Okay.
All right, I think that's it. Yep, all right, go ahead and back that one out. Okay.
It's stuck.
All right, let's go get a tool to clean that up.
Really?
Yeah. I think you may have got it. No, I cleaned them out already. All right, so I'm coming back to this part of the vehicle that I had tried to work on earlier with the hammer and dolly, trying to get the dent out here. So basically, with this edge of the vehicle, what this is for on both sides is this is just where you mount the fender to the side of the vehicle, and then of course each one of these spots here that you see, there's a little tiny part that goes on there that's got threads in it, and that's literally where you bolt the fender down to the vehicle. Well, at times, in order for the fender to look flat and flush with the hood, when the hood comes across here and meets up with the fender, the hood can be low, the hood can be high. So what you do is, where each one of these bolts on, you can actually put like what they call a fender shim to shim the fender up and down to make it line up with the edge of the hood. Well, in the case here on this, sorry, I have to pick up my square. So in the case here, what we have is you want to make that as flat as possible, as smooth as possible, without it having any highs or low spots in it. So if you take and you look here on the front using my square, you can see how this is bent down and it's actually not up. And I have that similar problem right here as well. And I tried to hammer and dolly those spots, and they're not coming up. And the biggest reason why is because of this edge right here. What happens is that the metal in here has stretched from where it has dented downward. It's caused this metal to stretch down as well. So what we need to do, in order for this to actually be able to be hammered up, I need to cut a couple of little relief spots in here, and then I'll be able to hammer this up. And then once I hammer it back up into space, then I'll just be able to weld those shut. And then we're gonna do the same thing on this one here. Today is Saturday, August the 10th, And it's been slow going on the Mercury Cougar for just the last couple of weeks here. I had some vacation that I had taken, and Naomi and I, we had gone to family camp, and we had been gone for a couple of weekends, and then weekend after we had gotten back, there was some other things that we kind of had to take care of, so we weren't able to get out here and work on the car. Today, Tavion is not with me. He is away today, but today I'm going to continue on the work of this car. Of course, as you can see, we've got it on the rotisserie. Esther and I, put the front part of the rotisserie back on, and we've got the car now turned on its side here. And today I'm going to concentrate on trying to get the rest of this area up here cleaned up. It's not bad. It's got a little bit of rust down here on this bottom frame rail. Got to get this old part off here that we couldn't get off before because it was so rusted. And on the top here, it's a lot dirtier. I think there was some kind of an oil leak on the engine that caused the bottom side of this to get really dirty. So we're gonna have to clean this up, get all the oily residue off and everything. So once we get that all cleaned up and get the rust cleaned off of it, I think we'll be able to tape off the front end, hopefully later on today, and be able to get the front end of this car in primer. So I hope you enjoy the rest of this part of the video, and let's go ahead and get started. Thanks for watching. loose grime and grit and stuff from the underside of this driver's side here on the bottom. Got a lot of it cleaned off just by hand scraping, so I'm going to go ahead and proceed now with getting a torch. We're going to go ahead and heat this up and try to burn some of this harder to get stuff off. And then from there, we'll use chemical cleaning to clean off the rest of the minor residues. Heating up of this metal and the burning of the undercoating off and some of that oily residue, that worked pretty well. As you can see, this looks a whole lot better than it did. But for the next part of the process here, to do a final cleaning before we can start prepping for a little bit of paint down here, is we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of a heavy-duty oven cleaner. Brand doesn't matter, just as long as it's heavy-duty or extra heavy-duty oven cleaner. This stuff will get down in the cracks and crevices of all of this, and it'll loosen up the rest of this road grime, oil, undercoating, whatever else is left in here. This stuff will just get down in there and it'll work and it'll loosen it up, and then we'll be able to come back and clean out the little crevices. After spraying that on there, we're going to go ahead and let that sit for about 3 to 5 minutes. Let it work down in there and get all the rest of that stuff loose. And then we'll come back with a couple of rags and we'll clean this off, and it'll be good to go. We're just using regular plain water here to clean off any of the residue left behind from the oven cleaner. All right. We got that all cleaned off, and that looks really nice. A lot of that road grime came off, so at this point we're about ready to call this ready for getting painted. Let a little bit more of that air dry, and we'll use some degreaser and wax remover to prep it for paint. But we still have a little bit of more. We still have a little more cleanup to do before we can get on to that. But we'll be ready for that here soon.
Brushes.
So Little Smalls is absolutely correct. We do need paint brushes. It's time to get painting on the front end here. So what we're going to do is in areas where there's still a little bit of rust that you can see that we just weren't able to clean up. Instead of using the OSFO on this, I've decided to use a product called POR 15, which just stands for paint over rust. And basically what it is, it's an encapsulator. So you paint it over and it becomes rock hard, and then therefore oxygen and water is no longer capable of getting to the rust to make it grow back. So it's a product that has been out for several years. A lot of reviews are on it, saying that it's a really good product. I've used it on several things in the past as well, and it's been really good. So again, that's what we're going to use to get these areas here where there's a little bit of rust left. And then once we use the POR 15 on this and it dries, then we'll be able to come back with the epoxy primer for the rest of the metal that's good and clean, and we'll be able to epoxy primer this. And of course, as you can see, there's still some undercoating, a little bit of primer and stuff left from the original paint. It's been really hard to get that off. So since it's not coming off real easily, I know it'll cover nicely. The epoxy primer will cover that nicely without chipping off as well. So at this stage, we are definitely done cleaning the vehicle of all the old loose paint and grimes.
Oh.
That's fine. And then just go over there. It doesn't matter if it drips. Go over here. And then just start painting down in there as well as you can.
I got a lot more. I hope I don't knock that can over.
I hope you don't either. If you knock that can over, we're going to be done for the day because I don't have any more. Yeah.
Look at them. They're all a bunch of goofs.
we got the epoxy primer on. As you can see, that turned out really good. We've got it here inside the area as well where the springs and the shock tower or the shocks go. But for the rest of this bare metal, we're going to use another product by Eastwood. That's an undercoating that's made to go right on bare metal, kind of like the POR. It's you know, so if the metal is slightly rusted, this stuff is designed to go on there. And from factory, these areas would have had undercoating and these areas would not have. And the reason why is because bolts have to pass through here in order to mount the suspension stuff back. So with that, you don't want any kind of undercoating, preventing those bolts from coming together as tight as they can. So again, these areas here are the only ones that are going to get the undercoating. We're going to go ahead and spray that on now. And then later on, before the whole car gets painted, this area and down inside the engine bay area, that'll all get painted flat black engine color or engine bay color. So that, again, like I said, that'll just be done later. We're not really wanting to do any kind of major painting now. We just put the epoxy primer on and the undercoating on to keep it from flash rusting any more than what it already has. So at this point, it looks good. So we're gonna go ahead and, like I said, now we're gonna just turn and spray that undercoating on. So our first coat of the undercoating to help protect from rock chips and stuff up in the wheel well area. Turned out good on both sides. We'll have a little bit of touch-up areas later to do. A couple of spots that I saw that didn't get quite covered, but those can always be touched up. Those can always be touched up later. And then I'll give you a quick look down in here. This is the area, obviously, where we did the epoxy primer the other day. And as you can see, the battery tray area turned out really good as well. Where we put the little body filler in over top of the welding. And here's the driver's side area with the epoxy primer. Everything turned out really good. Like I said, for right now, this is just to keep the metal protected while we continue on with the rest of the body work towards the back. This will all get painted. Like I said earlier, this will all get painted with a flat black engine bay paint. But for right now, this gets it at least coated and covered, so no more rusting will occur, and turned out really good. Well, thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for the next episode.